For those viewing this meeting via ORCA Media, you can participate in the Development Review Board meeting via the Zoom platform through either the video and telephone access options shown here. There we go. If anyone has problems accessing the meeting, please email me at mmiller@montpelier-bt.org. For those attending via Zoom, please make sure that your Zoom name includes both your first and last name so we know who we are speaking with, and to assist the recording secretary. Also, turning your video on is optional. For everyone attending, please keep your microphone on mute when you're not speaking to reduce the background noise. Phone Zoom is *6 to mute or unmute. The Zoom chat function should only be used for troubleshooting or logistical questions. If you have a question or comment about an item on the agenda, please raise your hand either physically or by using the raise hand button on your toolbar. For those using a phone, you can press *9 to do so, or state your name if you're unmuted and wait for the chair to recognize you. Once the chair has recognized someone to participate, please make sure to provide your full name and address for the record. In the event that the public is unable to access this meeting, it will be continued to a time and place certain. And I'll hand it back to the chair.
Okay. And we'll start now by introducing the board members. Starting on my right, we have
Karen Allen, Vice Chair.
Jean Leon, board.
Catherine Burgess, Board Member.
Mike Miller, staff.
Rob Goodwin, chair.
And we have Michael online.
Yes, Michael Lazorchek, I'm online. Thank you.
Perfect. We do have a quorum this evening, and so I would suggest, for as far as the agenda, a motion to swap the one item for the VCFA up to number 7.
So I make the motion to amend the agenda by putting the college street application first.
So moved. Motion by Sharon, second by Abby. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Right.
Agenda is approved as amended. And so at this point, I am going to, I guess, make a few comments. The comments I have is Sharon will be taking up the completion of the College Street application, and I will return and we will take up the Maple Street Lane. Since the minutes have to deal with College Street application, you guys can take care of those.
So I'll take those minutes as well.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't approve the minutes. The meeting I wasn't here. Okay. So I will step out. I have not been participating in the College Street application, and I'll be back when you guys are ready.
I guess first, let's see. Has everybody reviewed the minutes of the February 6th meeting? There. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. So the other thing that we need to do is look at the College Street application. Where's that?
It's loud.
There's a meeting next door. Okay. Okay, so like really try to get close.
Meeting over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So with the 36 College Street, Vermont College of Fine Arts application, they have withdrawn their application. And so we can open the hearing, and then I would entertain a motion for us to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
We already did that.
Okay, I'll make it. Okay, that's already okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Close the public hearing.
The public hearing, yeah.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. I think we can go get Rob. I think we're that's what we needed to get done. Thank you, Katie. Katie, the applicant, just let me know that the meeting has been changed from March 2nd to March 9th. And it's whatever's in notes regarding their public process. So if people are interested in following up on that, they can do that on the website.
But for anyone in the public who is hasn't been able to follow exactly everything that was going on, so the application has been withdrawn, so there is no application, which is why there is no hearing tonight. So
Okay. You ready for the Maple Lane application?
We are.
Who is representing Mr. Robolini?
I am. Can you hear me?
Just barely.
Barely.
Let's see if I can turn it up a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah.
It is better.
Okay.
Just wait for Mike to come back. Get some background noise going on here.
Yes, I could hear it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can turn off that. That's better, whatever you ask them to do. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. All righty, Steve. Can you hear us now? Is that better?
Yes, I can.
All right. I think that's better in here too.
Yeah.
So we're going to start by swearing in those folks that are going to testify tonight. Who on the Zoom platform, other than Steve, is going to be speaking tonight on this application? Anybody? Going once, going twice. All righty, Steve, you're the one. So if you want to raise your right hand and to be sworn as a witness. And do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Steve. Now, Mike, do you want to give a brief little summary of the application before we turn it over to Steve for his portion here?
all right, so really quick, as you know, I have not been a part of the application process. Meredith has been the one guiding through the application, but this applicant seeks a final subdivision review and approval for a proposal to subdivide the building known as 57 Maple Lane and more than 5,000 square feet of land from the parcel that is currently containing 42, 56, and 57 Maple Lane, which will result in an 18,962 square foot parcel that incorporates a private right of way varying in width from 32 feet to 55 feet to extend Maple Lane from the southeast, a storage building, and 42 Maple Lane, which is a 6-unit residential building. And that will be all called Parcel 1, and a 5,383 square foot parcel with frontage on Maple Lane extension and including the existing 57 Maple Lane building and that houses Joe's Kitchen, which is going to be called Parcel 2.
Okay.
And Meredith in her staff report outlined some areas such as off-street loading, had a couple of requests for changes to the plat, including parcel naming. There was a question about hydrants and a question about exterior lighting. Other than that,
Yeah.
seemed like a pretty straightforward application.
Thank you, Mike. All right, Steve, you gave a presentation at Sketch Plan, but since you've done a bunch of work since then, would you care to update us on the project and
Sure.
that may be important to us?
Okay. Well, when it came to the sketch plan and there was some discussion on, an agreement to the lighting and the repairs of any lighting and to widen it, including the parking area to the right of ways and that type of stuff. And so we went back to the drawing board and incorporated that stuff into the plan and also into the proposed deed. I'd sent a copy of the proposed deed because they wanted to see how that shared agreement was going to be written.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I thought, you know, when I last spoke with Meredith, that with those changes, we were all set. And I heard you say, well, she had some concerns about the lighting, but that was on after the first meeting.
So the comment on the lighting, was just since she's not here, just make sure we're not missing some information, that you submitted. What was the last piece of information you submitted on the lighting? Was that with your application or was it after the submittal?
I think it was since the sketch plan, but you know, a month or so ago, once we thought we had everything together she wanted, and we sent it in, and I thought at that point she had everything we needed for this meeting.
Okay.
Because none of the lights are changing. They're all been existing lightings.
So I think the comment was just a confirmation that the existing lights have some shielding. Board members read into it also the same way.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's just like there's one light pole on lot 2. That's emitting 5,000 lumens. 2 of the same exist on lot 1.
Right. And those were put in 2017 when the 6-unit apartment was built. So those were part of that application.
It does say that they're all permitted, that the lights
Yeah.
on the site are
Right.
existing and permitted previously.
Right.
Okay. So she's not suggesting that that's a requirement. Is that how you're reading
In the
that?
staff report.
I didn't think so.
All right, well, we'll start at the top of the staff report and go in order here. We skipped around a little bit. So we have a little bit of a limited review here. You know, we're not going through a detailed site plan. This is a subdivision. I think that the idea is that the, you know, additional development will have, you know, site plan work and you know, no need to dig into existing development for, you know, this subdivision, as it's not really changing anything that's on the ground. I think that the one comment here was on the parking and loading areas. And the suggestion was that maybe smaller trucks could you know, come in, but maybe not larger trucks for the regulations. Steve, did you read that issue in the report?
I remember seeing something about that. I mean, in the 5 years or 7 years, I guess, that the business has been there, they don't really have big trucks come in there.
So that was, I think, that the information that was needed to confirm that portion of the of the concern. So it's consistent with the existing uses. We don't see any change at this time, and There's enough space for trucks to unload without blocking the right of way, traveled way.
Correct.
So you said, that you added, or you were going to confirm the closest existing fire hydrants. Are those on the plan and I'm just missing them?
I don't believe there's a fire hydrant on the property anywhere. I don't know where the nearest one would be.
Yeah, so we just, I think it's a provision of our zoning that you just have to show where the closest fire hydrant is, which shouldn't be too much of a deal. We can add that as a condition that when you submit your final plat, you show that.
Okay.
You just have to identify where it is. It doesn't have to be in a particular relation to you. You
Right.
have to identify it. Yeah.
I would think up on the Berry Street, we're in front of the 36 unit apartment house. They probably had put one in there at some point.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
fire hydrants around. We'll just, we'll add that as a condition in our decision there, just so that it gets addressed, dot the Ts and dot the Is, cross the Ts.
Okay.
Shouldn't be an issue.
And by the way, both those buildings are sprinkled too. Not
Yeah.
that matters, but this is a preference.
So I guess we're done with the fire hydrant, done with the loading. We're down to the, to the lighting here. And I think that with this, board members, I think, are in agreement that the subdivision doesn't really trigger anything to change with the existing lighting. Is that correct?
That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
The only thing I would note is that in her draft conditions, what she asked for was an updated site plan with correct Maple Lane addresses and outdoor lighting fixtures, details, lumens, emissions, demonstrating compliance with total lumen output of 3204.
Mhm.
I think it's all existing, so I'm not sure. I mean, if it shows compliance, that's great.
Right.
Considering if it exists, it'd be pre-existing non-conforming. Not sure in my view if it would be grounds for denying an application if it was over the lumens limit. It would just be a demonstration that they're non-conforming because they were approved under the old zoning, which changed in 2018. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that what the board's saying is that the pre-existing non-conforming, I believe is okay. I just don't know if that's an option that's provided to us. Do we run into any issues that you see, Mike?
I wanted to just point that out because
Yeah.
she had a long running, obviously a lot of highlights of stuff she was concerned about in the exterior lighting. And then, when it comes to the end, that's what she was looking for. I just wanted to give you an idea of what direction she was thinking in her head for resolving it was that if you don't believe it's necessary, that doesn't have to be a condition.
Well, a spec sheet or photographs can be submitted. Yeah.
Well, I guess
As requested.
submitting the information, the thing that's going on in my head is that if it's not, that information yields that it is, different than what we expect. What happens then? We have to sort of anticipate, the results of what we're asking for. Or do we condition it that it's taken up at a site plan review?
So Steve, did Meredith speak with you about the light fixtures and the shielding on the lighting?
No. The only communication I think we believe we had was by email.
Okay.
Now, I mean, at some point during this process, we talked about lighting, and I think we had to give them a list of how many lights and what the output was for each one
Okay.
Okay.
on those two buildings.
And also to confirm that they're fully shielded.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at page 17 of the staff report.
Yeah.
So in addition to submitting spec sheets or photographs of the existing light fixtures to confirm they're fully shielded.
Yep.
Meaning that all light is projected below the horizontal. Okay, and to confirm the lumen output of fixtures.
To me, it seems like you may have submitted some information, but you just, that maybe wasn't 100%, complete, and that you just pull together what you've submitted. That Meredith's thinking is that you would be, be all set. But we don't have any lighting information I see in our application. Anyone else? I didn't see anything submitted.
No.
Okay, well then in that case, I feel like it makes sense to condition it.
Probably when the staff recommended.
Yeah.
Conditions. Just add the hot fire hydrant confirmation.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jean?
We could add the confirming the fire hydrant location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was just taking a scan through the application to see if I missed any lighting information in your correspondence that was submitted. I don't see anything. So if we look at the plat, I had just one question. I think it should be all right there, Steve. But I just think it'd be helpful for you to go through and just talk about the access in these right of ways through the parcel.
Okay.
And are all of these existing, or could you just run through what's existing and what's proposed and just give us an idea of the.
Right, well, the existing, whatever's there for existing right of way is there and still will be there. Then over parcel 1, we're given parcel 2 the right of way to go over parcel 1. And also parcel 1, I believe, is keeping a right of way to go over parcel 2.
And so there's a right of way through the entire parcel to access the 8 Putnam Street property.
No,
No.
that's the right of way is to access the 57 Maple Lane property.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm.
It's 20 feet. So that ends at the property line, and the intention is not to have traffic for 8 Putnam Street, going through this parcel, which I think is probably pretty clear, but.
Right. Now, the thing I would add to that is under a separate rental agreement that I have with Joe, he does rent some space in the 8 Putnam Street building.
Yeah.
But that's entirely separate of
Mhm.
this. So that currently he may drive from 57 Maple Lane, back his truck up to Putnam Street. But he's doing that through the rental agreement and he still will, rather than an ownership agreement.
Yep.
And most of Putnam Street, other than that one door, is all on the other side of the building, off the Putnam Street side. There's on the other side of the building, there's 4 overhead doors and 2 man doors and a sliding door. So
Okay. Board members have any other comments here? Anything we're missing? Summarize. It looks like we've got the two conditions. One is the location of the fire hydrant, the other relating to lighting. So I think I'd entertain a motion unless there's any more information we need from the applicant.
Staff recommendations, we have updated site plan with all the correct addresses.
Right.
There was a mention of the potential issue with tractor trailers. Was there a concern or an interest in restricting tractor trailer deliveries?
Well, we got information that
That
wasn't
doesn't
typical,
use it.
but would that be a amenable condition there, Steve?
I would think so. I mean, like I say, I've never seen a tractor trailer down in there unless it came down for the other building that the 36 unit building or something. We've never seen one down in there. And, the produce that gets delivered for Joe's business is just delivered on a standard produce truck like you see at a lot of restaurants.
I would hate to prohibit a tractor trailer altogether if there's construction or something like that. I think that we've confirmed that the general use of the property is not going to create a long-term issue with deliveries, and that we have that on the record. So I don't see a need to go any further than that.
Agree.
So are we ready for a motion to approve? And with conditions? Are there more
I-
discussion?
I see that the major issues have been addressed since the sketch plan and got a subdivision.
Motion to approve the 3-parcel subdivision off 42 and 57 Maple Lane, including creation of a private street right-of-way as presented in application number Z-2023-0010 and supporting and supplemental materials subject to the following conditions of approval. Within 30 days of this decision and prior to permit issuance, applicant shall submit to the zoning administrator an updated site plan with the correct Maple Lane addresses, outdoor light fixture details, and lumen emissions demonstrating compliance with the total lumen output limits of 3204. The final plat of recording in the city land records as submitted to the zoning administrator for signature and recording shall reference the street right of way for Maple Lane and not a driveway. Within 180 days of the decision, applicant shall record the final survey plat in the Montpelier Land Records Office per the procedure detailed in 4405 of the zoning regulations, including the locations of all applicable survey rods and markers, including confirming a fire hydrant location.
I'll second that.
Motion by Gene with 3 and 4 conditions as discussed. A second by Sharon. Sharon, how do you vote?
In favor, yes.
Gene?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Abby?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes,
Rob votes yes. It's unanimously approved. So Steve, you'll get a decision in a few weeks. And Mike, you have anything to add?
Nope, I don't think so. Meredith is probably going to be out the next couple of days, so I wouldn't expect her to be getting back soon, but I know she'll probably be working on the decision while she's at home recovering. So if she has any questions, I'm sure she'll be in touch.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have our attendance taken for the evening.
Do we know what's on the agenda for the next meeting?
There are a couple applications. Let's see,
March 6th.
can pull it up. It's I'll pull it up right now. Monday, March 6th, we have Isabel Circle on the agenda. So
Are you?
I will also not be able to participate in that application.
I have to, I'm not sure if I could participate. I was a capital areas neighborhood leader for the district. I attended the first meeting, spoke, and I got not necessarily directly involved, but just, so I don't know if that would conflict any interest.
Since I am also recused from the application, Gene, I would say that just send information to Sharon and if you have any questions to Sharon and Meredith, if you're unsure.
Yeah, I guess I always, if you represented yourself in any way as a member of the
No.
DRB,
No, not at all.
and then if you expressed any particular opinion about the project.
Not necessarily. Yeah, well,
Well,
everyone expressed opinion. It was a public hearing, basically. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so that is
April
on
circles, or
March.
is there anything else on the agenda for?
That is it at this point in time. I don't know exactly what the deadline is for more applications, but that one's probably a full meeting.
It's final subdivision,
Final
so
subdivision.
they're not doing the PUD anymore. They've
Okay.
just gone to a subdivision instead.
Oh, okay.
So
And it was a cottage cluster and it is no longer.
it was a cottage cluster PUD for part of it and subdivision for the rest. And they were going to be coming in, if I understand it correctly from Meredith, the original application, because it also included the development, you also were looking at site plan pieces.
Right.
Because they're not doing the PUD, it's not including the development of the parcels any longer. So therefore, the only thing you're going to be reviewing are subdivision.
Okay. Cool.
And then as the projects are developed, each individual application would then have to come in. Maybe here, maybe it's just an administrative permit, depending on the application.
Thank you.
All right. Well, next meeting will be March 6th. Any other business or information from the board? If not, motion to adjourn would be accepted. Motion by Abby.
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meeting is adjourned.